Hey YouTube, what's going on, and welcome back to Cairo and His Things. I'm excited to bring you guys a review today to conclude a series that we're looking at flat EDC flashlights. We've already reviewed the Workhorse HD01 and the Trustfire Mini X3. And so to conclude that, we'll be reviewing the Olight Arkfeld Pro today in Racing Stripes Edition. And then following this video, we'll have another video out soon comparing all three of these. The first thing we're going to look at on this Arkfeld Pro is how to unlock the light. Because when I initially got this light, I was really confused because I went to turn it on and it gave me the red bar here. So I was going, oh, okay, the battery's dead. I plug it into the charger and it's not charging. And that's because it came on full battery. So I thought I received a defective unit that wasn't working. Turns out, when you first get this, it's going to be in lockout mode. So all you have to do is hold the button until it switches over and you'll get those green lights. And now I'm in moonlight mode and now we're working. And if you want to put it back into auto lockout, just turn the light off and hold down the button until it switches over to red light again. Then you'll be in lockout. All right, now let's take a look at size dimensions. So we are looking at, for length, 120 millimeters or 4.7 inches. On the width, we're looking at 27 millimeters or 1.1 inch. And on the height, we're looking at 16 millimeters or 0.6 inch. And on the weight, we're looking at 3.9 ounces. And I'll show you some size comparisons here. Here is the Trustfire Mini X3, another flat flashlight. And so we see quite a bit longer than the Trustfire. Basically the same width and the same height. And then for the Workhorse HD01, still longer. So this is going to be one of your bigger, or one of your longer flat EDC flashlights. So it's longer, same width, and basically the same height. Actually, a little bit less on the height there than the HD01 it looks like. But overall, you're going to have basically same dimensions on width and height. It's just the length is going to be a little bit longer than some of these other options. Now on the charging, in typical Olight fashion, it does have a proprietary charger, so that means it's going to charge based on this magnetic base, and so you'll just hook it right to it and then plug that in, and that works off a USB-C into a wall outlet, so that's going to charge off of a proprietary Olight magnetic charger. We have a battery reader on the light when you turn the light on for just a moment, so it looks like I'm around 75% battery. That will actually show you that it's charging, and then it will change color and turn off once it's charged. Now, as far as the design of the light, you'll see that on both sides here, we do have some serrations built in. Kind of reminds me of almost like what you'd see on the top slide of a firearm, those type of serrations. Feels pretty good, not super grippy, but it's definitely there. It's better than just being smooth. But other than that, you've got no features on your sides or your back. Whereas the HD01, you have the sidebar on the side here, and on the Trustfire, you have a light on the back, and you've got a second switch here for the UI. There's nothing going on the sides, just other than that grip. Now, outside of that, on the back, we have a large two-way clip here, and it's got good retention on it, feels good, and I've got to say, in that gold, with this Racing Stripe edition, it looks really, really beautiful. So it's a really, really well done clip. Okay. Now, for the emitter on the top here, what we're looking at is an OSRAM P9 on your white emitter. And so you can actually choose between cool white or neutral white. You'll see here, my tint is 5700 to 6700, which means I'm in cool white. So it is going to be a little bit higher output, but the tint is going to be cooler. Whereas if you want a more natural sunlight tint with just a little bit lower lumens, you could go with the natural white as well. Now, other than having that white emitter in there, it also has a ultraviolet, which is this other emitter in here, and then the little circle at the top there is your green laser. As for the front here, we have a button, and then surrounding that we have this rotary switch here. So you see, you just use this little knob and you can switch it back and forth. Okay, so real easy to use. Now, as far as how good the button is, I'm usually not a fan of this style of button. So you'll see it's just like a little plate there. It's very, very thin, very, very small. And this is the same type of button that I have complained a lot about on this Olight LD70 Mini. See, it's the same style here. Okay? Whereas this one, though, when you press it, it wobbles around, it gets stuck constantly. It feels really, really bad to use. I'm not having that issue with the Olight. So when I click this, it's always responsive. It doesn't wiggle really back and forth other than maybe just a little bit between this rotary wheel here. But outside of that, it feels pretty good to click. It's not my favorite. You could still kind of feel the little where it kind of dips down right there on the outer rim of the button. You kind of feel that on your finger, so it's not always super comfortable, I guess. But overall, it's a good button. It's very responsive. And so they took a button I don't really like and they made it still function very well, and that's what matters the most. So the button's fine. And then, of course, the rotary switch, the rotary wheel, whatever you want to call it, is very nice as well and very, very easy to use. Now, for the user interface on this, very simple. So right now, I'm on regular light. So that means I can hold from off to go into moonlight mode. And then I can cycle from there to go low, medium, high, double click for turbo, triple click for strobe. Okay, and I can double click to go back out of those and back into the regular UI. If you want to go back into moonlight, you need to turn it off and hold down again to go back into moonlight mode. Additionally, it does have memory mode. So if I turn it off in moonlight and then just click it on, it's going to go back in there. Or if I turn it off in high mode, turn it back on, it's going to leave off there. So it does have memory mode on there. So as far as the white light, the user interface is very simple, and it's what you see in a lot of common flashlights. So it's going to be easy to remember, easy to use. Now, if you want to use the green laser, all you got to do is rotate that wheel over to the green laser, and it's just simply click on, click off. So no functions there other than an on-off. Same thing with the ultraviolet. I'm just going to rotate that wheel over to the ultraviolet, click on, click off. Holding down, double clicking, that doesn't do anything. Okay, so let's click on, click off, and then I can just swap back to white light if I'm ready. For the performance on this, we are looking at a turbo of 1300 lumens, and that's going to last 4 minutes and then step down to 420 lumens, which will basically be high mode for 2 hours. And then for your regular high mode, again, 420 lumens for 2 hours. On medium, you're going to be looking at 100 lumens for 9 hours and 45 minutes. On low mode, 15 lumens for 55 hours. And moonlight mode will be 1 lumen at 11 days. And I will say that I did see somebody post a review where they actually were able to take accurate lumen measurements, and it looks like Olight actually really truly is matching their claim lumens pretty much almost exactly, all the way from turbo down to moonlight. Now that we covered the basic specs of this light, why don't you come with me outdoors and we'll take a look at the beam shots. All right, now that we took a look at those beam shots, let's talk about final notes on this. So for one, this Racing Stripe edition, I did contact Olight and ask them about this. Is this a limited edition? How does this work? And they said this is going to remain in the lineup, or at least that's the plans. So this will not be limited edition, which is great. That means you can get your hands on this Racing Stripe edition if you want it. I think that this is the coolest and best option, but you also can get this in your black, which will have the signature black with the blue accents on it. You can get this in green, like an OD green, and you can get this in orange. So you do have a few different options to choose from here. So this light really is kind of like the king of the jungle when it comes to these flat EDC flashlights. Olight was the one that came out with the initial Arkfeld that really kind of stirred things up. People started getting it, they liked it, and then they started making other versions of it and realizing, hey, some people want an ultraviolet, whatever. So they made different options with these. And what you see is a lot of other companies. I mean, sure, there's other companies like the Surefire that makes the stiletto, where it's just a kind of a flatter flashlight, but all it does is just run a white light. But companies started seeing the Arkfeld take off, and so you see things like this Workos HD01, great light. So is this Trustfire, great lights. But the thing is, they were inspired by the Arkfeld. They want to compete with this Arkfeld. And so the Arkfeld is the one that you kind of have to dethrone the champion to become the champ, right? And so this is what other lights are competing with. This is what they're basing their lights on because of the features and everything that the Olight does. So as far as my notes on it, I think that it is a bit large in the length. I wouldn't mind if it was a little bit shorter, but additionally, it doesn't bother me too much in my pocket. Of course, I would love for them to just offer a version with USB-C. I know that that kind of goes away from how they normally do things, but I think that it would sell a lot better if they offered a version with the USB charging instead of magnetic charging. They could still leave a magnet on the bottom, that'd be cool, but throw a little USB-C charging port in there. The build quality on this is phenomenal. You really feel it in your hands. This is something that I can't really help you guys to experience by just watching this video. It's just one of those things, how it feels in your hand, and it really feels good, okay? It feels really, really good, and I can tell I'm holding a quality product. When you combine that with its good performance and the fact that it's got accurate performance claims, and the fact that Olight's warranty, in my opinion, is probably the best flashlight warranty out there. I've dealt with them once or twice on other lights for things, and they were really, really easy to work with. I mean, just really a great experience. So I've got to say, all the things that this Arkfeld Pro have going for it, I mean, kind of really helps it to stay at the top. And so that's why we're going to have that video coming out soon to see, can these other lights that have similar functions, can they dethrone the champion? How well do they compare with the Arkfeld Pro? But I've got to say, if you're looking at it, if you're interested in it, and you think you're going to buy it, I definitely do recommend this light. I'm enjoying it a lot, and it feels great, it performs great. It's really nice to use that user interface. It's great to work with. For pricing, we're going to be looking at $99.99 on this, so $100. You might be able to get it on sale here or there on Amazon, but if you're going to be paying full price, expect to pay right at $100 for this. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like on it. I'd love for you guys to leave me comments and let me know what you thought of the video. Let me know what lights you want to see me review. If there's any lights you want to see me compare. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great week.